We're live now.
Hello everyone, welcome to another event of Diabesties into BFN, which is also known as Blue Force Network. I am Apurv Jha, your host and host, and today we'll be having T1D Premiere League. So basically, ये नाम ही हमें suggest करता है कि today we are going to have some matches between two teams, and your teams भी बहुत interesting है, and definitely you will not be disappointed. So with that, let's begin. So in the meanwhile, till the event starts, let me tell you a bit about the T1D Premiere League. Here we'll be talking about some stigmas, some sciences, and some things that we all have heard, but it's we don't have, but the perfect explanation for that is very much different from what we hear. So we'll be beginning very soon. Please have some patience, and yeah. So we are facing some technical issues, but I will please have some patience, and we'll be starting very soon, and just have some patience. Okay, so the very first match of this T1D Premier League event is Science Seekers versus Stigma Smashers. हम सबने कुछ ना कुछ तो सुना ही होगा डायबिटीज के बारे में कि डायबिटीज से ये होता है वो होता है, but the science defies all of those facts. So आज हम उन्हीं स्टिग्मास और साइंस को देखेंगे. So with that, I'll be welcoming Akshi, our today's host for this segment. So Akshi, over to you.
Thank you, Apurv. Hey guys, I'm Akshi Verma and I'm living with type 1 diabetes since 2 years and I'm a proud member of Blue Force Network. So let's start this match. Next slide, please. So first stigma is kidney problems. Taking insulin would cause damage to the kidney. Next slide, please. Insulin is a hormone. It controls how much sugar is in your blood. And our pancreas doesn't produce insulin, so insulin helps in keeping our sugar in control, or it avoids hyperglycemia. So if you will not take insulin, then your kidney may get a damage, but taking insulin doesn't cause any harm. In fact, it controls our sugar. Next slide, please.
Okay, so the start is very good. बहुत ही अच्छी शुरुआत है ये. And the umpire's verdict say that insulin does not cause kidney problems. Instead, not taking insulin may result in kidney damage in the future. So अगर आप इंसुलिन लेंगे तो उससे आपको कुछ नहीं होगा, आपकी किडनी को कुछ नहीं होगा. लेकिन अगर आपने इंसुलिन नहीं लिया तो आपकी किडनी को कुछ खतरा हो सकता है. So with that, the scoreboard is here, everyone. Stigma 0 and science on 1. So with that, let's continue. Akshi, over to you.
So the stigma number 2 is addiction. People get addicted to insulin. Next slide, please. Insulin is not a drug that you can get addicted to. Insulin is something which is absent in T1D from birth. So after you get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, our body reduces its insulin production. So insulin कोई drug नहीं है जिससे आप addicted हो जाओ, but when our body gets diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, it reduces its insulin production. So next slide, please.
Okay, so stigma to balling of बहुत अच्छी होती जा रही है, and science is also giving some good shots over here. And the umpire's verdict say that insulin is not addictive as it is not a drug. It's present in everyone's body and people with type 1 has to take it externally. So अगर इंसुलिन जो है हम सबकी बॉडी में होता है, अगर वो नहीं हो तो हमारी बॉडी अच्छे से फंक्शन नहीं करेंगे. एंड टाइप 1 डायबिटिक्स को एक्सटर्नली इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इंसुलिन पेंस इंसुलिन को लेना पड़ता है. So with that, the scoreboard is stigma is on 0 and science is on 2. And with that, let's bring on the next stigma. And with that, Akshi, over to you.
Okay, so stigma number 3 is hormones. Insulin or diabetes result in hormonal changes. Next slide, please. Diabetes doesn't affect hormonal changes, but hormonal changes can affect diabetes. So it's vice versa. So next slide, please.
Ooh, so we can see that now stigma is also throwing some complex facts and boiling of a choti jari hai, and science is also trying to, just give its best performance. So with that, the umpire verdict say it's vice versa from the stigma claims. So basically, insulin causes some hormonal changes, and it's something that is very much common when you take insulin. So with that, the scoreboard is here. Stigma is on 0 and science is on 3. So with that, let's bring on the next stigma. Actually, over to you.
Stigma number 4, Ayurveda. Ayurveda can cure any type of diabetes. Next slide, please. Type 1 diabetes proves to be fatal in case you not give artificial insulin. So आप Ayurveda and yoga try कर सकते हो, उससे harm नहीं होगा, but just don't stop your insulin. And just don't stop your insulin, and you can try yoga and Ayurveda. It can help in controlling your sugar. Next slide, please.
Okay, so the main ball of Ayurveda has been given to science, and I guess हम सब ने एक ना एक बार तो आयुर्वेदा के बारे में सुना ही होगा on our journey with T1D. So the umpire's verdict say that Ayurveda can help in lowering blood glucose levels in some cases, especially in type 2 diabetes, but it's not solution for diabetes. So basically, Ayurveda आपकी मदद कर सकता है type 2 diabetes में, आपको help कर सकता है, लेकिन type 1 diabetes and diabetes के लिए it's not a permanent solution. You have to take insulin, और अगर आप insulin नहीं लेंगे और सिर्फ आयुर्वेदा करेंगे तो it's of no use. So with that, the scoreboard is here. Stigma is on 0 and science is on 4. So next stigma is here. Akshi, over to you.
So the next stigma is home remedies. Methi ka pani will help instead of insulin. Next slide, please. Since type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition in which our beta cells stop produce insulin, so methi ka pani or any kind of pani will not help in producing insulin. Next slide, please.
Oh, so the methi ka pani is also here, and I guess science also repeated it, because methi ka pani बहुत ज़्यादा ही common solution है, and हम सबको उसके बारे में सुनने भी मिलता है, and जब हम पीते तो उसका taste भी अच्छा नहीं लगता. So anyways, with that, the umpire's verdict say that home remedies do not work in type 1 diabetes. You have to go with the medical consultancy. You have to go with what doctors say. You have to go with the insulin. और अगर आप insulin के साथ जाते हैं, doctors के साथ जाते हैं, तो you can have a healthy and very like a full energetic life. So with that, the scoreboard is here. Stigma is on 0 and science is on 5, and the performance of science is commendable. So with that, the next stigma, Akshi, over to you.
Stigma number 6, contagious. Type 1 diabetes is contagious. Next slide, please. So it is impossible to get diabetes from another person. And type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition in which develops inside our body. So scientists haven't find the real reason why diabetes occurs, but still you can't get diabetes from another person. Diabetes could go in the that you will catch it from someone. Next slide, please.
Okay, so this is also one of the most common myths that diabetes is contagious, and especially for type 1 diabetes it is. But type 1 diabetes ऐसे नहीं होता. It's not like coronavirus की कहीं पे भी फैल जाए. It's a very special condition, and you should consider it as a superpower because not everyone gets type 1 diabetes. And with that, the umpire's verdict say that diabetes is not a viral or fungal infection that can be transferred from one person to another. It's not like COVID ki kisi ko bhi ho jaye, hawa se ye nahi phailta hai. It's an autoimmune disease. So with that, the scoreboard is stigma is on 0 and science is on 6. And with that, the winner is Science Seekers. So now so thank you so much, Akshi, for being such a good host and such a good presenter. And now we'll be moving to the next segment of the show.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Niramya Singh. I've been a diabetic since the last 1.5 years, and I'm going to be your channeler being for today. So let's start with statement riders versus reply royals. Next slide, please. Statement number 1. So Niharika Garg from Delhi has heard that it's because you didn't skip enough rope in your childhood. Really? Next slide, please. So let's see what she says. Wow, looks like you didn't do anything for your brain either. Type 1 doesn't depend upon lifestyle. It's an autoimmune disease. I feel you, girl. No, I mean, type 1 diabetes, like it's totally not a lifestyle disease. Next slide, please. So, Apur, over to you.
Okay, so here we are in the best segment of this event, and the score you can say is statements is on 0 and replies is on 1. And I must say the replies are looking very much savage too. So with that, the next statement, please. And Ramya, over to you.
Yes. Statement number 2 is from Shubhi Bala, who's from Faridabad, Haryana. And she's heard that my mom has asked me to not have lunch with you. I might get diabetes. Yeah. Next slide, please. There's the door, my friend. It's not flu. It cannot travel from one person to another. Yeah, it's really not coronavirus. Next slide, please.
Ooh, so now we are seeing some interesting statements over here, but the replies are getting more and more interesting. And with that, the scoreboard is statements is on 0 and replies is on 2. So the next statement, please, and Ramya, over to you.
Okay, Trishna Nagar from New Delhi has heard someone looking at their CGM says that is that mosquito repellent? Next slide, please. Yeah, I'm walking Odomos. It is a continuous glucose monitor. It monitors my sugar. Yeah, do you really see Odomos or Goodnight written on it? No, right? So next slide, please.
That's a very unique statement, and I must say that the designs of the CGMs and insulins are very good. Like, acha likta hai, it looks good when you wear it. So the reply is a very true one, and with that, the statements is on 0 and replies are on 3. So with that, the next statement, please, and Ramya, over to you.
Okay. Statement number 4 is from Seema Islam from Guwahati, Assam. Someone said that you ate too much outside food. That's why you got this disease. Next slide, please. I'll start eating khichdi then. Will it cure my diabetes? It's an autoimmune condition. Yes, really. Agar aisa hota, to fir half the population would be a diabetic. So next slide, please.
Wow. So yeah, definitely. Like, we must agree that we eat a lot of junk food, and especially the youth is more into the junk food thing. But junk food se nahi hota hai diabetes. It's an autoimmune disease. So with that, statements is on 0 again and replies is on 4. So with that, the next statement, please, and Ramya, over to you.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna really say the backstory of this. The person's name is anonymous and the age is 232. That was actually me. I was just joking around. But someone has really said this to me. Are you really a diabetic or faking it? Let's see. Next slide, please. Are you alive or faking it to be alive? How could you fake diabetes? Really? Like if I shoot you right now, are you alive or just sleeping? Next slide, please.
Wow, that's like a very, a statement that is actually kind of triggering also, but it's, yeah, it's true. Like we cannot fake diabetes. If we are taking, अगर हम insulin ले रहे हैं, तो अगर हमें diabetes नहीं होगा, हम insulin लेंगे तो हमारे लिए it would be fatal. But diabetes, we cannot fake it, and we are not faking it for really. So with that, statements is on 0 and replies is on 5, and the replies are getting more and more better. So with that, the next statement, please, and Ramya, again over to you.
Statement number 6 by our host Apoorv Jha. He has heard that in one mandir there is some chamatkari tel which when used will make you free from diabetes forever. It's not a back pain. Diabetes is not a back pain. Wow, why isn't he on the news then? An oil could never cure type 1 diabetes. The only liquid that can help is insulin. Truly, don't try any liquid other than insulin. So next slide, please.
Well, yeah, that's a statement that I heard, and honestly, जब मैंने ये सुना था, I was like, wow, like scientists have worked so hard. Frederick G. Banting, जिन्होंने insulin को बनाया है, उन्होंने इतनी मेहनत की, and the result is you can just use a tail. But honestly, tail is not the solution, but insulin is. So always stick to insulin and not to these remedies, because these are not true. So with that, the winner is Reply Royals, and everyone, let's have a big applause for it because the replies are too good.
Yes.
So with that, let's move on to the next segment of this event. So the final winner of this event is our emotions, T1D's emotions. And it really matters because what we want to express ourselves, we want ourselves to be heard and we want our condition to be heard. So with that, let's have one special thing for you. Now we'll be having Siddhi Jaiswal, a young T1D, giving us a rap, singing a rap for us. So with that, Siddhi, over to you.
Thanks, Apoorv. Hey everyone, I'm Siddhi Jaiswal and I've been living with type 1 diabetes since last 5 years. Today, I have written a short rap song on stigma related to type 1 diabetes, and it is called as #Break the Stigma. I hope you all guys like it. But before we start, one short note, guys. I am not a singer, so please excuse my voice. And let's get started. 1, 2, 3. How'd you define a type 1 diabetic by calling me a T1D? That's the stigma here I see. I'm better known by my personality and break the stigma and set me free. Let me make it crystal clear. The whispers are here in my ear. Sympathy I see in your eye makes me feel like I wanna cry. This makes my heart beat out blue. To egg on the blue and going through. I'm better known by my personality and me. Break the stigma and set me free. Type 1 diabetic, that's not my name. It's just a game played by my life with my body and my brain. But always remember, you're the in charge of your life throughout. Be happy, brave, and laugh your hearts out. Now is the time, stand up, speak out, let's show them what type 1D is all about. We are the dreamers, we are the achievers, we are the visionaries, we are the believers. And better known by me. Let's break the stigma and fly free. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And Apoorv, over to you.
Wow, such a great rap it is. And I'm truly speaking that I was grooving when you were singing this rap, and I was literally grooving with my camera off. So with that, we are at the end of this event. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Make sure you go to the BFN Diabesties Instagram handle so that you can see some more exciting stuff and you can get updates on more events like this, which is upcoming for you. And with that, once again, thank you to all of you who have joined us today. Thank you to all our presenters and thank you to our rappers, Siddhi Jaiswal. Thank you, Niramya. Thank you, Akshi. And yeah, one last thing, that be type 1 of a kind.